deflected from 53. That gave Detroit a 13-9 lead. So the line of scrimmage is the 40. This would be approximately a 58-yard attempt.
That was well done. Excellent execution by Jim Caldwell and his offense.
Prater hit from 53 earlier this quarter. This is a 58-yard attempt for the Tigers. From the left edge. Prater's kick from 58 is good.
Seconds with everybody on the offense. You take a shot in the middle of the field, your shot is going to allow you the middle of the field because you don't have any timeouts left. To the 43-yard line, a 23-yard connection. Opening possession of overtime. 2nd and 10. Xavier Rhodes. Knocks him down along with Jack Greenway. Gain of just 2. Stafford to Golden Tate for a Detroit first down. To the Vikings 43. 2nd down and 5. From the Vikings 38. Stafford in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 43-yard line. Everson Griffin with the sack. This ball is in one hand and a little stumble there. That's why he's got to hold it. He had his eyes up that way, but watch here in the pocket. He's going to try to escape. Now that ball's in one hand up in the air at first when he has some contact. Some good hand strength right there by Matthew Stafford to hold on.
Team leading 6th sack of the season for Griffin. 3rd down and 10. Following throws, and there is a flag. Rhodes defending Marvin Jones Jr., the intended receiver.
Not a whole lot to defend yourself on that one.
Defense, number 29. Ball happened at the 30-yard line. The ball was placed there. First down.
3rd and 10, and it's a penalty that gets you the first down.
From the 30 on first down, it's Riddick.
Offensive coordinator Jim Buckner has been able to dial up some nice runs here all throughout the game.
It's 82 yards on the ground for Riddick, a season high for any Lion running back this season. Play clock is at 3. On second down, the toss, it's Riddick. And Riddick will lose yardage, forced out of bounds at the 29. Opening possession of overtime, 3rd down and 8. Lions must get to the 20 for a first down. Stafford throws, and it's complete to Golden Tate, who has a first.
Good morning, Reno Valley. My name is Rhea Shaw.
And my name is Andrew Martin. Today's date is Friday, October 18th.
Please stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today's weather is clear. The temperature right now is 53 degrees. The humidity outside is 60% and the wind is 19 miles per hour.
Today's lunch is white chicken chili, cornbread muffin, sweet potato puffs, and fruit choice.
Now over to Ashley and Timmy.
Okay, CKL's tournament is tomorrow for the 8th graders.
8th grade social studies will make Flipgrid videos today for parent-teacher conferences.
8th graders, please continue bringing headphones to language arts.
I hope you got your choosing the correct word done.
Miss Kuhn's quote of the day is "There's only one thing that makes a dream impossible, the fear of failure" by Paulo Coelho.
Remember to turn in your new parent briefings.
Lock-in forms are due Wednesday the 23rd.
Band and choir need to turn in their polos before Tuesday.
Bones were found on a remote island in the western Pacific Ocean in 1940, but not until a 2018 study did people start thinking they were Amelia Earhart's. A re-examination of their measurements by researcher Richard Jantz has researchers wondering. Erin Kimmerly, a forensic anthropist, plans on using DNA testing to see if it's her bones or not. Amelia was a determined record breaker. Earhart was committed to be the first woman to fly around the world. Her adventure began in June 1937. She started off at Lake Papua New Guinea. Her navigator and friend Fred Newton was there with her. They intended to land on Howland Island in the Pacific. On July 2nd, they sent in a radio message saying they were low on fuel and having difficulty finding the island. On the same day, those two would never be heard from again. The U.S. Navy and Coast Guard looked for weeks, but the ruins nor the bones were ever found. Amelia Earhart was only 40 when she died. If you want any more info, go to CNN News. I will be doing a follow-up on whether the bones are hers or not.
Now for some spooky stories. This is from AmericanFolklore.net. There was an abandoned house sitting in the middle of a fancy neighborhood in Calgary that nobody would go near. And I mean nobody. Albert was the agent in charge of selling that haunted house, and he tried everything in his power to close the deal. But folks were too plumb scared to make an offer, even at rock-bottom prices. Finally, Albert lit on the notion of selling the house sight unseen to a rich city slicker from the United States. Worked like a charm, too, until the day the city slicker decided he wanted to visit the property after all. Albert was all set to take the fellow there at high noon, but the city slicker's train was delayed, so it wasn't until after dinner that the two men set off for the haunted house. It was a dark and rainy night, but early enough in the evening that the ghost might still be resting. At least, Albert hoped this was the case. Albert unlocked the front door, and it opened with an ominous creak. Albert swallowed nervously, but the city slicker just chuckled and said something about atmosphere. Albert relaxed a bit. and wondered if he shouldn't have raised the price a bit. The two men entered a tall foyer absolutely festooned with dusty cobwebs. Creepy, the city slicker said enthusiastically. He bounded energetically into the center of the foyer. "Come to me, foul spirits," he intoned loudly. Immediately, the whole house rang with a sinister, unearthly chuckle. Then an unearthly voice boomed, "I'm coming down now." The city slicker jumped and then turned to Albert with a happy grin. "Great special effects. How'd you do that?" "I didn't," Albert said, his teeth chattering. He backed up until he hit the front door and stood there with his hand on the knob. "I'm coming down now," the voice boomed again, and the city slicker's grin slipped a bit. He looked at Albert's frightened posture and then followed the agent's gaze toward the stairs. A bright light exploded into being at the top of the steps and quickly resolved into a sinister green head with flaming eyes, writhing hair, and fangs instead of teeth. The head opened its mouth and screamed a terrible, high-pitched sound that scraped across the nerves. As the head began rolling down the stairs toward the two men, Albert's nerve broke, and a moment later he was halfway down the road, his own scream rivaling that of the specter in the house behind him. It wasn't until he was almost home that he realized that he had company. The city slicker was running along beside him. "Mister, I don't think I want the house after all," he panted. "Why not?" asked a hauntingly familiar voice. Albert and the city slicker looked over and saw the green head with flaming red eyes keeping pace with them as they raced down the street. The city slicker gave a screech that would have shamed a banshee and disappeared into the distance so fast there was no keeping up with him. "Must have been the asking price," the floating head said conversationally to Albert. The real estate agent shrieked even louder than the city slicker and ran away so fast that his shoes made sparks against the pavement. The next day, Albert quit his job and moved to Vancouver, where he spent the rest of his life working on a fishing boat. The haunted house fell into ruin and was eventually torn down. The end. Hope you got scared.
7th grade Levi Polly medaled and placed 5th in the 1 mile.
8th grade Emily Hall got a school record with a time of 16:19.
Yeah, Emily! And Carson Blasdell got a school record with a time of 12:43.
A and B team volleyball teams won, but C teams lost.
Sadly, football lost.
Now over to Rhea and Andrew.
7th graders need headphones for social studies.
What room does a ghost not need?
What?
A living room.
Why do ghosts make good cheerleaders?
Why?
Because they have lots of spirit.
Here are Rhea's and mine top 5 Halloween candies.
Number 1, Snickers.
Number 2, candy corn.
Number 3, Hershey's.
Number 4, Twix.
And number 5, Reese's. Now over to Super Panther.
Hello, students. I've been flying around Reno Valley lately, and I've been looking for some possum, not the animal, but like possum, awesome people here. And whoo, do I have my hands full with some serious winners today. So please come behind me when I call your name. Rachel Nisley. Woo! Afton Woodbury. Rashawn Walker. Cadence Newman. Alec Brown. Shauna Monroe. And Connor Murphy. These students have made some serious positive choices lately, and I want to congratulate them. Get the camera, get the camera.
Miss Super Panther.
Now over to Mrs. Kuhn and Rhea for a special announcement.
This just in! Reno Valley! Okay, special announcement. Have we got a deal for you? We've got an amazing deal for you, Reno Valley. Okay, so the hint waters that are just a hint of flavor, we have decided to create a punch card. So like you have at Quick Shop, you know how you buy so many of the same drink and then pretty much you get a free one? We're doing that. Yay. Yay. So if you buy 4 hint waters, 4, you get the 5th one free. Buy 4, Get the 5th one free. Oh, I'm so excited. So, next week when we're selling Hint Water, we'll get you your special punch card. Make sure you keep hold of it. Put your name on it because it's your punch. You've spent the money. So, make sure, however many you buy next week, you get what Miss McCabe and I decide to do here. And by the time you get your 4th one purchased, you get a 5th for free. Yay, Reno Valley!
This has been your news for Friday, October 18th. Have a flippy floppy Friday.